Hello, welcome to the Joe Cortez Show here in Las Vegas, Nevada, the entertainment and the boxing capital of the world. Well, today we're going to be having a special friend of mine that I've met years ago. It's funny how we met. We met online. He was just a big fight fan, and we're talking about different topics. And he wanted to know about boxing, want to know a little bit about me. Then I want to know a little bit about him. And before you know it, he was out here in Las Vegas with his wife and his two beautiful children. Wife is Natalia. They got Franco and Manu. Franco is a young gentleman that came out here about 2 weeks ago, came out to Vegas to visit me. The whole family did, and it was so nice to see them for Christmas. Anyway, I want to say a shout out to them, Manu, Franco, Natalia. Hello there. And bring on our guest here, Horace Porras. He's the Vice President of a global human resources company named Afiniti. And I tell you, it's an honor to have you on the show today, Horace, because you're a dear special friend of ours, my family, and we think the world of you guys. And thank you for the beautiful Christmas gift, and we thank you for coming out to visit. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself, Horace.
Thank you very much, Joe. It's a real pleasure to be here on your show. It's an honor to have your friendship, and this is I'm speaking on behalf of my family as well, right? You're very special to us as a professional and as a human being.
Thank you.
So, about me, I was born and raised in New Jersey, and as a teenager, my father moved to Argentina for work. So I started really my professional career when I was in Argentina. And I worked for a series of companies like McDonald's and always the human resources field. After that, in Schlumberger, in the oil field services, and I had the opportunity to work in Belgium, in Italy, in Romania, in Brazil, also in Argentina, in different roles within human resources. I spent some time in Cargill in Minnesota, MasterCard as head of HR for Latin America, American Tower, which is a real estate company for the telecom business, and right now in Afiniti, a company that is dedicated to applied artificial intelligence.
Yeah, great, great, great. Can you tell the fans, our viewers out there, a little bit about the term of human resources? A lot of individuals don't know exactly what that title means or what the meaning of human resource. Can you explain to our viewers?
Sure. It is a role that is quite sensitive, right? Because you're right in the middle, working with the company, protecting the interests of the company, but also of the people, right? Which actually make the company. They are the ones that really make companies great, and they bring the results, and they are key, right? So really, human resources. What we do is we have a responsibility over the entire life cycle of employees. We go from recruiting to onboarding the employees into the company, training them for the different roles, and managing their entire cycle, right? Which includes payroll, includes compensation, benefits, upskilling, which is, with the dynamics of the world, the changes in business, it's very important that we always keep our employees up to date to be a very competitive organization. We are also, we drive a lot to have a positive workplace culture, which is very important. It's something that it is difficult to put a money value to it, but really more and more people decide to stay in companies or to leave companies because of the culture they have, and not so much because of the pay. And then, of course, there's a big strategic part that is really working with the business in terms of optimizing employee productivity, uh, employee-employer relationships. That sometimes there are conflicts and there are situations that have to be addressed. And really, it's like I said, it's being aligned with the business in terms of the objectives of the company,
Right.
and also trying to understand what are the expectations and the ambitions of the people, right? So they can both go together and both be successful.
Good. Now, tell me, what do you think is the key to being successful in human resources?
Well, I think that there are a couple of key components. The first one is that human resources need to understand the business. What really makes it profitable? What does the company do? Why do they do the things in the way they operate? So it's really having a full understanding of the business, of how it works, how the revenue is generated, why it is operating in certain countries and not others. Because by understanding the business, you will be able to actually help find the best people that are more suitable to work in the company in the different roles and with the different responsibilities.
Yeah. Now,
And sorry, go ahead, Joe.
any advice on anyone that wants to would like to pursue a career in human resources?
Yeah, I think that it's very important to have a balance. You cannot really be all on the side of the company or all on the side of employees. You really have to understand very well, like I mentioned before, how both work. What are the objectives that the company has and that people have, and make sure that they're properly aligned.
Yeah. Now, do they
It's
need what kind of a degree do they need for that position?
Well, there are careers in human resources management, human resources administration, but also there are people that have maybe just studied, business administration and some other careers that could also have the opportunity to work in human resources. And my experience also has been that in many companies, it is good sometimes to bring people from the business to human resources because they bring in a different perspective, a different understanding, and that helps actually human resources to be, stronger and know more what the business needs.
Yeah. Now, it's let's say a position like that is a position that you can work at a location, or can you work from home, or both?
Yeah, well, it's really tricky. It's really tricky because in my case, I have a global responsibility, and during the day I might be having conversations with England, with Pakistan, Turkey, Brazil, the United States, Canada. So in my case, for example, it's not really that relevant where I am based, if it's in an office or at home. But the reality is that it is important to have that human interaction, right? One of the things that I do is I like to jump on a plane, go and visit the countries, because in the countries is where we actually generate the revenue, where we have most of the people. So it is very important, to actually meet people, talk to them, and usually in the office is where you build the culture of a company.
Right.
You cannot teach that through an onboarding process or via Zoom. You really need to be at the office
Right.
to really feel, the atmosphere and how everybody talks to each other.
Yeah. Now, being bilingual, would that be a key factor? Would be something to be more involved with the company? Being bilingual, does that help you a lot more? Do you have to be
To be, I'm
bilingual?
sorry.
Does it help you more being bilingual?
It does. It does really, because and I one of the things I've always tried to do in the different assignments that I had globally is try to learn the local languages. In some cases, it has been much more difficult, but it really helps because even though you have probably 90% or more of the people that speak English, it is great for them that they feel much better and confident to communicate in their local languages. And even when you have to go and train people on different programs, definitely the impact to be able to communicate in their language, it is much better. They feel much more comfortable. So I think it's a big plus.
Yeah. Now, how many years have you been involved in your profession now?
Well, I have to say that it's around 30 years already.
30 years.
I would like to say that I started when I was 6 years old, but it was not the case. But it's been 30 years
Yeah, yeah.
already.
Now you say you were born and raised in New Jersey. What part of New Jersey? A lot of people wonder. New Jersey is kind of big. A lot of fans. I have a lot of boxing fans from New Jersey, and they say, what part of New Jersey? Well,
Yeah, I was born and raised in Englewood Cliffs.
Inglewood Cliffs.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, just I mean, you would probably walk a little bit, and you could see the skyline of New York City,
Yeah. Right.
from
Exactly.
a couple of blocks from home.
Yeah, yeah. I used to live in Hackensack before I moved out to Las Vegas 31 years ago, so I'm pretty familiar with Bergen County up there. And that wasn't too
Yeah.
far from the George Washington Bridge, and from my house, the windows I could see the skyline of New York City, Manhattan, and it was really beautiful, beautiful view from Jersey. Yeah,
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
You get the most of both worlds.
yeah, yeah. So tell us a little bit more about your career. I mean, you have a very interesting career. I know I've known you for a number of years, and like I said, we met online talking about boxing and whatnot. And you've been traveling around the world. And I know most recently you saw a good friend of mine up in the White Plains, New York. You were with Charles Palminteri. Am I correct?
That is correct. That is correct. Yes.
Charles
Yes. Yes.
Palminteri is the actor. For you viewers out there that don't know who Charles Palminteri, he's the actor from the movie called The Bronx Tale. One of my favorite movies that Charles Palminteri, his father was a good friend of mine. His father used to help me work out when I was fighting in the amateurs up in the Bronx. His name was Larry Palminteri. And when the movie came out, Robert De Niro played a part as of Larry, the bus driver in the movie. And Larry, when the movie came out, he said, "Joe, don't call me Larry, call me Lorenzo." Because that was the way it was in the movie, The Sonny, they had the bus driver. It was Lorenzo. It was amazing movie. I love Charles Palminteri played a part of Sonny, the mobster from in the Bronx, up on 183rd Street and Arthur Avenue in the Bronx, where I used to go train up. And it was amazing, meeting him here in Las Vegas when he came out to do his shows out about the Bronx Tale. He did a one-man act show in Las Vegas. It was amazing. I saw a couple of times. I remember one day he called me up and said, "Joe, my mom and dad want you to come up to New York for their 50th anniversary." I said, "Sure." So he sent me the address, the day, and everything, and I was there. When I got up there, up in the Bronx, there was this location, it's a restaurant, club-like. I went up the stairs, got up there. Who's there? Was waiting for me? Robert De Niro and Charles Palminteri. The three of us in together. It was such an honor being with Robert De Niro and Charles Palminteri. What great guys they were, We had a good time. Great memories.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed. Fantastic, fantastic actors. And I've been fortunate to have a little bit of interaction with Chaz Palminteri, and really he is great, and he's actually been having some great conversations with my kids, talking to them about the future, the not wasting talent, very very nice conversations, very down to earth, and being able to actually share with them, that it really takes a lot of effort and hard work to get to, wherever you want to be if you want to be successful, and
Exactly.
how ethics and professionalism is so important. And well, in this case, Joe, I think you're a great example as well. This is something that you have shared with Franco and Manu in the different opportunities that we've met together, and they really treasure that advice from you and those stories, which is, again, they're real examples of not just words but actually action. So yeah, very very positive overall.
Yeah, well, when I was sitting with them a couple of weeks ago, when you guys came to my house here in Las Vegas, I remember talking to them, and the conversation I had was mainly, I was targeting them, especially them too, because they're young folks coming up. Remember, when I was that age, I needed somebody to. You always look for somebody. You got a good. They're blessed to have a father and mother that can raise them together. They're very blessed. They're able to travel around the world with you and your wife and Natalia, and it's so special that they have that. See, I didn't have that growing up. I come from a single parent home, and my mother had 4 boys, so it was kind of tough for us to really enjoy the life the way your children are doing it. And that's why today I'm able to give good advice to these kids, but telling them how they should keep on doing things that they're doing, like your son and your daughter. You know, he's into sports. He plays the guitar, and, you know, she plays the guitar. I remember when they were a little younger, they sing happy birthday to me with the guitar, each one of them. And that was so special, that very meaningful to me, having these young kids at that young age. See, but they had some guidance, somebody like you that came along the way. You were there for them when they were born, and they were able to listen to you. And the one that was gave me a lot of guidance and direction was Gaspar Indio Ortega. Gaspar Indio Ortega was a boxer, and I met him when I was 12 years old. So he's the one that got me started into boxing. And that's how I kind of lived my life the right way, because he didn't want me to be involved with gangs. They were doing drugs. There were a lot of people going bad in Spanish Harlem, where I live in New York. And I think that growing up having somebody like you are with your wife is with your children is so important. I see your kids they're going to be going places. You know, they're so special. They're so loving, so caring. And I can never forget when you said goodbye to me that day a couple of weeks ago. You guys walking out the door. I already gave your son and your daughter a big hug and a kiss. And when you went out the door, your daughter said, "Can I have another hug?" And she said, "I love you so much." It was so nice, you know. You have your children have good hearts. Your whole family does. And I'm so happy to have met you guys and have been part of my life, and now you're part of my extended family, because we need that in life. Even as an adult that I am today, I'm still starving for that love. I need that love. We all do, you know, caring love. And I love the big hugs once in a while. When your son and daughter and yourself and your wife give me a hug goodbye, that meant the world to me. Give me a special feeling, give me a boost, make me feel like a young man again. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, you make it easy for us to love you, Joe. So
Well, you know, I've been trying my best my whole life. You know, I was telling one of my granddaughters the other day, I said, you know, how you can do anything in life. It's like I was talking to your kids. You know, you have to be focused. You have to be positive. You know, to win one Golden Glove championship, you have to give it all you have to get to that level to win the championship. But you know what? I always strive to do better. I wanted to do better than everybody else out there. I was not satisfied with winning one championship. I won 2, I won 3, I won 4, I won 5, I won 6 Golden Glove championships. You know what? Because I gave it all I had. I work hard. I still do. At my age right now, you know, I do my own show, and I love doing this because this is what I love. I love talking to people. I like sharing my knowledge and wisdom with individuals out there like yourself and your kids and our viewers out there that are watching, because I care for people. I love people out there. I try to put people in the right direction. My thing is helping with the young folks out there. I love talking with seniors. I go to speak with different groups out here, with the aging groups. They have the senior aging groups in Nevada. And my friend Deanne Cameron, who's the director of the aging groups here in Nevada, she was appointed by the governor last December. So she has a position dealing with the senior citizens. And she said, "Joe, can you come out and talk to our seniors? Because you're for your young age, you know, you're out there, you know." I'm going to be 80 years old in October, man, and I'm still get a little spark of the old flash. You can't stop me. I want to keep on going. I still think like in my mind, I still think I'm a young man. I still think I can do things that I did when I was 30 years old, you know, 40 years old. I still want to keep going. You can't stop me. And I'm doing this show like this, and I have people like you on the show because I want to share my friendship, my friends that I have like yourself, so people can see what I'm still doing today and what we can do to help others out there. The thing is caring for one another, loving one another, and, you know, and just making sure that you're doing the right thing to get people on the right track.
yeah, no, absolutely. And you know that reminds me, Joe, of one of your previous questions. You know, what do you need, or if you want to work in human resources? And I
Yeah.
think that, you know, that care and that love for human beings, I think it's very important, right? Because you need to really understand people. You really need to care about people. You have to be honest. You have to be transparent. You know, and really helping them develop a career and be successful.
Right.
And just like you said, it's so good, so positive to really have, you know, diverse teams. You know, junior people, more senior people with different backgrounds, nationalities, and all of that, because you end up learning a lot. You gain different perspectives that really enrich you as a professional, but the business and the overall function, because you gain these different perspectives that otherwise it's impossible. I'll give you one example. During the pandemic, of course, everything was closed. Every office was closed. And when everything started to look a little bit better, and we were trying to see how we would get back to the office environment, we were not very sure, what to do, especially in countries where people rely a lot on public transportation. And I remember that in the case of the U.S., well, most of the people were okay to continue working from home. They were fine. But there were people in some countries, especially in Africa, that they were really desperate to go back to the office. And the main reason for that was that they were probably living in a small apartment or in a small house with two, three kids and the spouse and the pet, and maybe not too much space, not having proper air conditioner, not having proper internet. So for them, it was critical if they were going to be 8, 9 hours working in front of a computer to be in a good environment, right? So that's why I say it's so critical, really, to understand people, within their context, their needs, their expectations, and not have, general statements. And you learn a lot from people all over the world with a diverse background.
Yeah,
So I agree with you.
yeah. Now you're involved with a group called the Best Buddies International, and that's why intellectual disabilities. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, yeah. So many years ago, I remember, like I said, always working in human resources, and I remember that I always heard that there were a lot of things done for different types of groups, but I never heard about many efforts about hiring people with intellectual disabilities. So I started wondering why was that, because I really see people, instead of seeing with intellectual disabilities, I see that they have special abilities. So I got involved with Best Buddies, that was founded more than 30 years ago by Anthony Kennedy Shriver, and trying to find out what can we do, what can I do to actually help people with intellectual disabilities integrate better in society, and maybe creating job opportunities. So I started working with first with another organization, but then very soon I started working with Best Buddies. And in the different companies that I worked for in different countries, I've been hiring people with intellectual disabilities, different type of disabilities, and they have been very successful, right? Because the partnership with Best Buddies is excellent, because really the company can go ask them, for certain profiles, for certain skills and abilities that we need. And they actually work like a consultant firm. They don't charge anything, but they actually help find the right candidate for the company for the job that you're looking for, like many search firms do. And they provide all the professional support and counseling throughout the entire life of the employee with the company. So it's great. They're in more than they're in the 50 states of the United States, in more than 52 countries. They have 1.2 million participants globally, and it's very impactful. Not just because of the person himself or herself, but the impact it has in the entire staff. With the entire population of the company, because they actually see how the company is actually creating these opportunities for everyone. So I really recommend it to everyone.
Okay, now if somebody wants to reach out to you guys to the Best Buddies International, you have a website that they can go to and check it out and apply for the
Yes, yes,
apply.
it's bestbuddies.org, and but people can also reach out to me, because I've been working with them. I'm part of their I'm like a global ambassador for them. So if someone wants to reach out to me, send me an email, learn more about Best Buddies, and actually I can provide the point of view from the employer, right, from the corporation, and explain to them how it works and how it has worked in companies that are, like MasterCard, like McDonald's, like American Tower. So it's really in all type of industries.
Good, good. And, I'm so glad that you're able to share some of that information with our viewers out there. Because see, this is why I like to bring people from all walks of life on my show, because I want people to understand sometimes you need a helping hand, and we need somebody like yourself and myself, and people I put on the show that always come out to talk about information, to give that helping hand and pay it forward, always trying to say, where can I help? And that's what I'm all about. I wish I could help the whole world, to get on the right track. Unfortunately, today, these days, our children are not gravitating towards how can I say, the patriotic way of being, to saluting the flags or the singing, playing the national anthem. You hate to see where they turn their backs on that. And I don't know what's going on with our country these days with these kids. But the way you're bringing up your children in the right direction with the great guidance and the way they're being brought at home, showing them how to live a good life and how to be successful like you have and other individuals out there. But being on the show like this today, it helps us share that knowledge and wisdom that you have and with what you're doing in life so that other folks can follow your footsteps and move forward in life.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's really. I got involved with Best Buddies without having anyone in my family with intellectual disabilities. In my case, it was just creating opportunities, for talent that was out there, and nobody was really creating the opportunities for them, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what human resources needs to do. It's really be a facilitator of the careers of the employees, give them the tools to be successful professionally and consequently in life.
Yeah, that's right. I think that the only way you can move forward in life is being have a lot of discipline and have that want to go forward and believe in yourself. You got to love yourself, believe in yourself, and believe that you can do it. But always, when you succeed, that's it. They pay it forward. Help other individuals out there. We're not perfect. I know I'm not perfect, but you know what? I'm hard to beat because I try my best. I'm always trying. We make mistakes along the way. There's bumps along the way. We make little mistakes here or there, but we try to learn from those mistakes and try to make ourselves better. Believe in God and say, God, thank you so much every day for letting me wake up again. I mean, I look at life differently now than I did a couple of years ago. Because I saw the other side when I had that COVID. I was hospitalized for those 5 months. But you know what? I made a comeback because I believed in God and I believed in myself. And I said, I want to go forward because I got a lot of people out there that I want to continue to help and put them in the right direction. That's why I'm glad to have people like you as friends that we can share all your experiences in life so we can sure that we can help other individuals go on the right track, especially the young folks out there. I think our young folks, we have to make America a better America. It be the way it was years ago when I was growing up. I mean, we didn't have no computers, we didn't have no color television, we had no cell phones, we had nothing. We had to create our own games, in the streets and up on the rooftop in New York City. We had outside black tar up in the roof. That was our playground, We didn't have all the luxuries that the kids have today. But I think that the kids today are spoiled. They're giving too much, too quick, too young, and they don't appreciate the values of life. And that's why I say, you as parents and people that are viewers that they're watching, go out there and try to educate these young folks out there. Reach out to them. Some of these young kids need somebody out there to help them get them on the right direction. And that's what I like doing every day. I like going out there. I love kids, and I love talking to seniors just to get them, make them feel that there is a life, still a good life ahead of them, the senior citizens, and the young kids, to get them on the right track. People like you and your son, Franco, he's amazing. You got him to meet some football players a couple of years ago. Some of the football players that you had him out meeting were who? Some of the famous ones recently. Who were they?
Yeah, well, we were very, very lucky because actually, Tom Brady is an ambassador for Best Buddies International, and actually, my son Franco was able to actually play in one of the in a game with Tom Brady, and this was a charity event, and he was over there receiving passes from the quarterback himself. and actually in another part he was actually playing defense, trying to stop Tom Brady, which was of course a very big challenge, and facing people like Julian Edelman, James White, and some other the Patriots. So that was a great experience, and again, learning from these great athletes, very successful people, having to know them as human beings, really, and getting their advice, and learning from them that actually, again, nothing has been free. Nothing has been free of effort, right? They really had to put a lot of sacrifice in getting to where they are today.
Well, I want to tell you that I really appreciate you being on the show today. I think it's been very informative, all the information you gave us about your jobs, and giving our viewers, our listeners out there, a little direction of how to go when you need to get started back in life and help out with the young folks out there. And I want to thank you all. Horace, thank you for being on the show today. Give my regards to your Mrs. Natalie and Franco and Manu. Tell them I love them all. And our fans out there, enjoy yourselves. And with your loved ones, have a good time. God bless you. We'll see you next week. Take care. Thank you, Horace. Good luck to you.